What's up, guys? Welcome back to Viewer Castle. Today we're going to start off with Las Vegas. Castle levels of 16. I'll jump into it on my knight. So this is kind of the first castle that I've played through since the update went through. This is like the day of the update when I'm recording this. It'll probably come out the day after the next day. But I'm still not like 100% sure on exactly everything that changed. Like, I read through everything and I don't know exactly how good the changes were. I also know that there's a higher buff towards the higher end, so like level 32 will have more of a significant buff than this level per se. I've heard that Pete Poundmore had a pretty big damage increase. It doesn't really look all that significant to me, but he's also 3 levels behind me, so generally I'm going to be fighting like level 20 Pete Poundmores. From what I've noticed, like, I ran through my own castle really quickly, and from what I noticed that like Cyclops' charge are significantly higher damage, which might actually mean that it's worth it to use Pete Poundmore on charge now. I'm not sure. That was supposedly increased, the attack speed or something. It doesn't look that significant. It's still pretty easy to dodge Smelly Warriors. But Smelly Warriors, as I've said, do kind of have a place now, because they have had their damage increased, at least at level 25. Or, I mean, not 25, 32. What am I talking about? So they do have their place. They're good space control, having them, one of them, with other minions. I think if you have more than one, like, I would say this is probably a mistake, and you should have something else that's revolves around space control here. Also, you should have, like, a trap that you... Like, this is a very easy area for me to fight in. I realize you're trying to block it off with these mines and stuff like that, but this isn't too difficult for me to fight in. I would much prefer having, like, the Hungerbot, the Smelly Warrior, a Battering Ram, a Bad Dog, and whatever you had up here, a Stairmaster. Something like that, that adds a little bit more space control in a different way, such as, you know, Battering Rams do, when you start getting them charging and stuff like that. So, we'll have to see how everything really works out. You have some, bear trapping archers. Those supposedly were increased as well. Honestly, I haven't played around with them enough to know the time in which they throw down bear traps. I think that's what was buffed, and I can't really tell a difference because I haven't played against them all that much. The only time I've really used them was back when like springboard trap combos were a thing. I would use them to stun the person as they're going through the trap, to help like keep them from being able to roll out of it and stuff like that. But other than that, I'm really not sure. Alright, these were also buffed. Their attack speed quite a bit, actually, quite significantly, and I think I noticed a difference on this. But their damage seems a little bit low. Again, they're level 16 and I'm level 19, so that could be the reason. This looks like it may have been rebuffed, the length in which the Defendatron stays linked. I'll have to test that a little bit more after I get out of the castle. But that seemed like longer than it used to be last patch, so we'll have to see if that has been rebuffed. That wasn't mentioned in the patch notes, so I'm really not sure. I kind of like this. This is okay. Especially at the lower levels where you don't really have those high level AoEs. Like, you can notice I'm even having trouble with this because I have to, you know, chase down everybody. But I do have this axe is the best AoE weapon. The cleave is the best that you can get as a knight, so I'll have a little bit easier time getting through this. I'm also, again, 3 levels higher. Alright, another Pete Poundmore. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to have to be played around with now that Pete Poundmore has damage increases on pretty much all of his specializations. It may be worth it to have him on charge. I know Cyclops' charge at level 32 do about 1,000 damage to me, which is pretty significant. Getting that to hit within a reasonable frequency may be a little bit difficult, but not really. I actually need to play around with it because I think that Cyclops charge plus spike traps are going to be a pretty viable combo now, and just pushing them on top of spike trap, 1,000 damage plus the stun will probably force out a potion, to be honest. 1,000 damage, 2 ticks, maybe 3 ticks of spike trap damage. That's roughly 2,000 to 2,200 in that general range. That's pretty decent. Maybe it won't force out a potion every time, but it's not bad. I kind of wish they had more of the... I don't know if their stun got rebuffed, but if it didn't, I do wish that they had more of the utility role, though. I think that's a better option. If you want to go DPS route on like Cyclopses, then you go the over-the-head slam or the 3-punch combo. I feel like that's a better damage-dealing ability, and the other one should be more for its stun and utility off of that. Alright, so another one of these. I would say that don't get too carried away with this sort of resurrecting thing, because if someone is well equipped to deal with it, if an archer does have gear that is high enough to like one-shot volley or something, bone puppeteers, this is going to be very easy for them to clean up. Same as me, if I have this axe like this, it's not too difficult for me to clean up. So I would say don't get too carried away with your bone puppeteers here. I would even like to see a couple Dr. Skulls as well. Some different Dr. Skull pulls and stuff like that. I think that could be pretty decent. I like the Stairmasters here, mainly because it's difficult for a knight to deal with. I have to kind of pull them out of this jelly wall, or else I'm never going to be able to kill them. And then I would like to get rid of this Hunger Bot so I don't get, you know, accidentally pulled into Stairmaster bubbles and then die. Alright. Cool. And then we have one of these little snowmen that are actually chickens, I believe. They do 3 damage. They're kind of just a joke, but that's pretty cool. I like that they add little things in like that. I kind of wish like they would keep that skin and make it available to purchase or something like that with bling. I think skins like that would be pretty cool for creatures. Alright, so it appears that multi-pulling is a thing again, I believe, if I remember correctly, which makes 3 Scorpio Boss Room back to kind of annoying. They have had their health nerfed in the last, you know, maybe 3 patches ago or something like that, when it used to be a problem. But it doesn't seem like it's that big of a problem. Like, it's a fine boss room. It used to be a very big cheese boss room, but as of right now, I think it's okay. Yeah, pretty good castle. I wouldn't... You know, you can play around with the new patch, really. That's all I can really say, because I don't know everything that's working and not working and stuff like that until I get a little bit of time to play around with it. But it's a pretty good castle. I like some of your things. Just be aware of using too many bone puppeteers, and maybe throw in like a Dr. Skull pull as well, because they're quite a bit better than they used to be. But yeah, we'll jump into number 2 in just a second. Alright, next up is DrNo, castle levels of 22. I'm gonna have to play through it on my archer, which is gonna make it a little bit easier for me, but I will try to you know, give good advice regardless. Alright, so as I said before, I'm not super like comfortable with this patch yet. Like, I still don't know how everything is working, because a lot of things got changed in this patch, and I'm not sure if they made them viable. I know a lot of things like squidlies and low level mobs like that probably will still be not viable. Alright, I'm gonna throw down this, which is gonna kill everything for me, but I think if I was somebody else that couldn't one-shot kill a Dr. Skull with a volley, this would be a pretty good pull, because you have archers shooting behind it, and then you also have this Dr. Skull that's going to be resurrecting minions, just throwing them at you. So I think that's a pretty good idea. This one is completely skippable, though. I would be aware of that and try to like fix it so that this isn't skippable, because I'm pretty sure that's just a 20-point group right there, and I don't have to engage it at all. But yeah, there's certain low hit point mobs, if they can get one shot by a volley, it makes them very hard to be useful, because you have to spread them out so much that they don't get hit by the wide arc of a volley. It just makes it almost impossible. Alright, so this is a pretty standard group. The only difference is that you have Snotter and a Smelly Warrior instead of the standard Defendatron guarding the Zeke. It makes it so that the Zeke will die a little bit more often, but you'll have a little bit more like DPS with these ones, but a lot less sustained. I prefer the Defendatron. I also think that it's possible that we might be back in the age where Spread Eagle, the one that spreads out the 3 little bolts of arrows, will be better than Headshot nowadays. The reason why I say that is because they reduce the cooldown on it significantly, back to where it used to be, I believe. And it used to be pretty good back then, for overall like sustained damage and stuff. It used to be actually an age where you would see non-stop Zeeks, just that unit, because it was so good. I would like to test the headshot damage on even these low level ones. So it does about 500 at Zeke 22. That's pretty strong. It's definitely pretty strong. At Zeke 22, you're probably looking at like 2,700 hit points at like level 22, maybe a little under 2,500. I have low hit points for where I'm at right now. Alright, then that is about 100 damage for a charge. That's actually quite low compared to where I thought it would be. I'm not 100% sure, but it did seem like it was at 1,000 for level 32, which they have gotten bigger buffs at the higher levels, so I guess that's fair. Alright. Yeah, I haven't really noticed the change for the Jimbo to make him swing a little bit faster. It might be there, and it might be even more noticeable if you have him enraged or something like that. But this is just a standard group overall. Until you get to level 26 Jimbos, though, you can't really expect to have too many miracles come from him. At level 26, he gets a huge damage increase. I mean, actually insane. It goes from, you know, his, whatever, 500 to 600, maybe 700, to well over 2,000. It's a crazy damage increase for your next level, so you have that to look forward to. I believe these are still really low. Yeah, they are. It's weird because these actually tick quicker than the ones at level 32. It's really odd like that. At level 32 now, Stairmaster's got a really weird change, to the point that I think they're bad now. I think Ominous Orb Stairmasters are probably very weak. I have to do a little bit more testing, but the little testing that I did do, they do 100 damage a tick maybe, and their ticks are quite a bit slower than they used to be. It's kind of bad, so we'll have to find something new to kill people with now, which is kind of unfortunate. It's just another nerf that they threw in there. Like, that's the one thing that I don't like about this patch. I don't think that they were the huge problem. I think they were a good unit. Like, if you're able to get through castles that have all Stairmasters in them, I don't think that that's a problem. Because you just add more utility to the players. And if you can make a castle that's one pure unit and it's reasonably easy to get through, I mean, not super easy, it can't be, like, you know, the easiest thing ever, but Stairmasters, you can get through them without taking damage. It's difficult, it takes some skill, but it can happen, and they got nerfed quite a bit, to the point where I don't think that they're going to be super useful. Maybe throwing one of them into a group can still be effective, but compared to everything else now, I guess we're just going to have to switch everything around. But yeah, castle's pretty good. That one skippable mob group is a big thing that you'll have to look at, and also you notice how I got through pretty quickly. And I mean, I'm super high level, okay? I can get through castles obviously pretty quick, but the thing that you have to worry about is you had a lot of archers and Zeeks in your castle, and with having those low hit point minions like that can be one-shot volleyed, it does make it possible for people to get through your castle a lot quicker than they normally would be, as well as timers being buffed this patch as well. But that's something to consider, you know. If people are getting through your castle a little bit too quickly, maybe you'll have to throw in something else to kind of slow them down a little bit more. Or maybe you'll get a lot of kills depending on how the archers are working for you. If you find that like headshot isn't dealing enough sustained damage, you can try switching it out for Spread Eagle as well, because I do think that that could be a reasonably good ability. You could even try Spread Eagle and have your Bone Puppeteers on Enrage as well to increase the DPS even more so than that, so something to try. But we'll jump into number 3 in just a second. Alright, and for number 3 we have Sneakyturnip. Castle level is a 16. Jump into it on my knight again. Let's see what he's got. I'm not sure how many of these castles have been updated, but honestly I don't think there's going to be really a ton of updating needing at these lower levels, but at the higher levels I think everyone's going to need to change their castle. Like, you guys can expect me to change my castle eventually. I was hoping we would have free creation mode by this time, like by the next update that we were having here, because they kind of acted like it was right around the corner, but maybe they ran into some trouble, and also they were probably getting ready for this Christmas stuff that they're doing, which I mean I think is okay, you know. I don't think it's really necessary. I think we would all be happier with free creation mode right now, but it's not bad. Alright, so you notice how these smaller areas areas, teleport isn't as good as, you know, in the more open areas where they can kind of get away. Because sometimes they teleport from like here over to this wall, and it doesn't really do anything for them. It's not the biggest deal in the world. As you noticed, I still took a lot of damage from that, so... I would like to see the charge damage at this level. I think it was at 100, actually. About 60, which is pretty low, to be honest. But, again, you know, 3 levels under. Maybe it gets better, but probably not. It, at best, is probably about 80 against people your level, which isn't that amazing. I would still say, you know, over the head slam and 3-punch combo. 3-punch combo probably a lesser extent, although it's been buffed. Again, I haven't tested it. Is better for DPS, but for me personally, I would say that getting rid of 2 of those Cyclopses, adding in something that has more damage, would be a better thing to do. Now, how much do these things do? About 13? Is that right? Yeah, it looks like it is. That's pretty low. I mean, it's not terrible, I guess. I don't know. It should be quite a bit more than that, I feel like, to really make these guys effective. Like, at level 32, these guys do about 100 damage per hit, which is really good. I don't know. They're okay. They tank for a little while. It's not bad, I guess. Alright, I mean, I like the heals, but someone who has enough DPS to one-shot this guy won't have much problems. I think you have a few too many puppeteers is what I would say about this one. Because, I mean, if the person just goes and targets them down, or if they volley the bone puppeteers, they'll probably all die in one volley. And then you'll be stuck with just one Defenatron and a Cyclops, which isn't going to do all that much damage. That Zeke is definitely lower level? No. I guess that's... I don't know, what level would he go up to? 18? Yeah, okay. I guess he's not lower level, he's just a tier behind everything. I was wondering why he was only doing 100 damage. Honestly, you're probably just a little bit too low level to actually be dealing a lot of damage to people. Like, I'm trying to, like, figure out the damages here, and it's just a lot lower than I am used to, because it's only level 16. Really, to start, you know, consistently being able to kill people, you have to get up to a level where you're able to do 500 to 600 damage with some of your creatures per hit, so that you can really force out potions. Because as of right now, like, I'm guessing people can get through your castle without using too many. Although I've already used 2. I think your Stairmaster group, honestly, was your highest DPS out of everything. And then these archers might do pretty well. Yeah, archers are pretty good. Like, these things do, what, 100 damage per hit? That's about 150. So that's like 450 damage if they all hit, which is pretty reasonable. At your level, at least. You know, I have 3,600 hit points, but I'm a knight, and I've actually geared my person more towards tankiness rather than DPS, so... How much do these Stairmasters hit for? Only 80, but I guess the annoyance of them is really difficult for knights to deal with, more so than, I guess, an archer. Yeah, I mean, this is pretty annoying to deal with. Trying to actually chase these guys down as they're hitting you, and they shoot pretty quickly, so they're pretty good. You could throw in maybe a group more of those and replace something else that you don't think is really doing enough for you, because I think those are pretty good units, for at least your level. So yeah, not too bad. This is number 3, so we'll end the video here. If you guys enjoyed, I do, as always, please subscribe. If you want to be a part of EuroCast, you can email me at frenzycastleruns@hotmail.com. Also, every Friday we'll be doing beta key giveaways, so stay tuned to those videos. And that's pretty much it, so thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.